Reallyfe 3 stars. We got a situation here because we have I want to say infamous as of right now. It's funny because you're listed as the CPS girl, which is wild. But Amora Lexx is who we have on the couch. And before we get started, when you see titles in social media and they call you the CPS girl, because some people, they just don't know what to, call you. They try to make it short. What are your thoughts when you see like your title be called the CPS girl?
I mean, it is what it is. I don't know, because technically that's what people recognize me as, from the girl that was in CPS. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just Amora Lexx now.
So let's go through there, man. Where are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus, Ohio. The video that went viral was, I believe you were in your car. And you were just...
I was a couple places.
Okay, I would say it seemed like you were fed up at the time of, and you just had it to your limit, either with life, with your children, with baby daddies, or what was it? So I want you to tell your own story, if you don't mind. And we're gonna move around in this conversation because we're gonna learn how you about your baby father and things like that. But tell us, at the moment that video went viral, as you went a couple of places, what was going on that day for you to turn on your phone and let the world know what was happening?
Because it was, okay, to start off, let me just clarify one thing. I will never be tired of being a mom. That wasn't the issue. Not being able to provide for them the way that I consider being a good mom. I didn't have the resources. I was working 2 jobs. I was doing the utmost, but it came time to where I'm doing all of this. I'm not getting ahead. I'm not really spending any time with the kids because I'm always trying to make more money. And then it really just got to a point to where it actually started to fall on my health. I actually started having many heart attacks and just things like that. So it was I tried to hold on to being a single mom, trying to tackle it all and stuff like that, until it literally almost killed me. My heart almost exploded. So it's either, and that's why in the video I was telling her, it's okay, I could either die and they not have shit, or I can take this leap, figure some shit out, and go back for them when everything is good and dandy. I mean, that's literally what I was left with.
All right, well, your story got you to this couch, but let's do it like this. We want to give some people some context. Before we get into, taking the kids to CPS, let's get your history. Columbus, Ohio, are you in a single family home growing up, or do you have brothers, sisters, aunties? Give us the family dynamic of your life.
So I have a strained relationship with my dad's side of the family. No connection whatsoever to my mom's side from me, my sisters, or my brothers. No connection, because they trifling as fuck. That whole side of the family does incest, and my mom's gone through a lot of things behind that. So she's...
You said incest?
Yeah.
Like what?
On my mom's side of the family, that's where most of the drugs and prostitution and stuff come from. So if they're not selling themselves or each other or the kids, they're doing some fucked up shit. When my mother's mom died, when we went to go see her for the first time, that's when we met my grandma, which was on her deathbed. Our cousin, I was 14 at the time. He slid in our inbox. He was trying to fuck us. My mom took us from that, we've never seen them since, and that was our first time. And she just wanted us to see her mom before she died.
That's an older cousin?
I don't know how old he is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know anybody on my mom's side of the family. I have a strained relationship with my dad's side of the family. Altogether, I have 26 brothers. Well, it's 26 of us. But I only know... I'm sorry.
Yeah, take your time, cause...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta count them. Whew.
We 14 maybe. Oh. So I don't know the other ones. And the other ones I've heard of. I don't know what they look like. I just know their names.
How many, do you have any immediate brothers and sisters from mom and dad?
2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Are they older than you or are they younger than you?
I have a twin sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a twin sister, 1 older sister, and then 2 older brothers. But one of my older brothers, it's a little weird. He's older than me, but it's I helped raise him because he has Down syndrome. So, yeah, that's my baby.
So for you, How many children do you have?
I have 5 beautiful, intelligent kids.
Okay. If you don't mind, we're gonna walk down the situation with each child, if you don't mind, as far as how old you were when you had them. You don't got to give their names or nothing like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But please, if you don't mind, tell us how old you were when you had each one and what the situation with the father was, if you don't mind.
So with the first 2, was, I'm going to say my oldest son, I got pregnant at 15. Yeah, I think I was 15. Yeah, I got pregnant at 15, had him at 16. My second son I got pregnant at 16, had him at 17. They're 11 months apart. So I didn't have time to heal before, So
Amora, with that being said, the father of your first child, you mentioned 15 pregnant, and then again at 17, 11 months apart. The father himself, was that because you were still in school at this time, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Is that a classmate? Is that?
No, he was a grown man. He wasn't in school.
How?
But he was hanging out with the rest of us little kids.
Oh, wow.
That's how I met him.
Do you know how old he was?
No, at that time I thought he was, I do know actually, to go back, because now we're talking about it, he's short. So I've always kind of been fairly on the tall side. So even at 15, he was around like my height and stuff. But he didn't, from what I remember, he didn't really look like a grown man. He looked short, maybe a little bit of facial hair, but what 15-year-old didn't have it at that time.
Was he older than 18?
At that time, I don't no. Obviously at that time he was 21, but I didn't know he was 21 until I knew. But like I said, I thought he was just like 15, 16, like everybody else. I think the oldest kid in that group at that time was maybe 18, 19.
Oh, wow. And he's the father of your first child or?
First two.
First 2. Can you explain as far as how that worked out, as far as, getting pregnant, having your first child, and then of course getting pregnant again? What was were y'all going out? Were y'all dating? What was the dynamic of y'all's relationship?
So the first time, I'm sorry.
No, please, again, take your time, please.
The first time, anything sexual happened or whatever, it was like maybe 3-4 days since I've eaten. Well, me and my brother, he said that if he'll pretty much, and that's why I be telling people, like, obviously looking back, I know I'm a victim.
Hindsight is always 20.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck how it looks. I'm going to tell my truth regardless. So like, until it actually was that point, because he did hold me down. Like, I remember vividly one good time where he held me down because he told me I was going to do it, whether I liked it or not. I remember that. But obviously, the very first time I didn't really like fully understand, but I did open that door because he said, if you do this, I'll get you a personal pizza or whatever. So yeah, I did.
Wow.
And it's so embarrassing because it's like most females, they lose their virginity or whatever, at prom or whatever. I'm in the hood, a fucked up house, roaches running around for a fucking pizza that I was so disgusted to eat, I still didn't eat afterwards.
No, it's very important because you'll be very surprised on how many people share that same story of their first time or their initial few times being in a scenario which, when they look back on as they become, young women, it was never a scenario that they would ever put themselves in again, based on what it was. But you were a child at the time. You're a child, and again, I will say men do prey on a woman's mindset, still being, you're not there yet.
No, I was still playing with Barbie dolls up until 15. Wow. To be honest.
Wow.
I ain't even gonna beat you.
Even to say
that's how I would chill. Shit, that was me.
Was anybody in support of you when you found out that you were pregnant? Did you have anybody as your support system, mom, family, anybody that was like in support of like, all right, we're gonna get through this together?
Not until like my mom, probably not until she found out like it was a boy. Like that's when it really set in for her. Cause for the first longest, I can't really remember too much. Like I don't think I told anybody. I think maybe I did tell my mom or something. I don't really remember how that went. But no, my whole pregnancy, I was very depressed. I wanted to die. I mean, when I was by myself, I expressed happiness because that's all I had to look forward to. And it was like, did I want to be a mom? No. Who the fuck wants to be a mom at 15? But it was like, I did fall in love with the idea that like once it set in for me, it was like, like I was really, really tiny. Like I'm tiny now, I was really tiny. So like once I realized like I couldn't fit my clothes no more, started getting big, like it was just like, that's when it really set into me. And it was like, you know what? How can I put it? It's like, I started to like fall in love with the idea that no matter what, this child's gonna love me and I'm gonna love this child. No matter what, I'm gonna protect this child.
And that's what it is in regards, again, you're young, the fairy tale. So it makes total sense. Would you say you had a difficult pregnancy or easy pregnancy just in regards to just your health getting through it?
No. I think like I was always bleeding like throughout my pregnancy. I mean, for the most part, it was cool. Like there wasn't really a lot of food, so I was hungry a lot of my pregnancy. Now I'm not gonna make it seem like he did a lot like during my pregnancy, but he did put his hands on me a couple times during my pregnancy. For the most part, it was just really me just trying to push through every fucking day. That fucking house, being around him, couldn't get the fuck away from him for a while. It was just too much. Like I just wanted to fucking die, but I kept going. And I don't.
When you had the child, was he present? When you had the child, like at the hospital, was he present there? Was he there?
Yeah, he was, because I was told, like, long story short, like I'm 16, they'll take him. I believe at this time I did have already developed Stockholm's or whatever it's called. So I did for a while fall in love with my captor. And that's the truth.
And where were you living? Were you still living at home with your mom? Were you staying with him?
No, I was at home with my mom. And then I think sometime after my second son was born, I left home. Not even gonna lie, the house we was in, it was just a lot of roaches and bed bugs. I was getting bit, the babies was getting bit. So I did leave and I did go to his mom's house. And that wasn't no better.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask his parents or his family, were they receptive of you and the first child, even going into the second one? How was his family?
To be honest, I don't really remember, except for a lot of them, they were mad that he was messing with a little girl. They're like, man, why? Because, I didn't know. He had this girl that he was messing with who was a grown woman. So I don't know how that whole thing happened, but then he went from a grown woman to a little ass girl. So I don't know. So they were pretty pissed off. A lot of them didn't really talk to me for a while. I didn't really care because I really just stayed in the room a long time. But a lot of them did say, like, well, she's not the first to get pregnant at 15. She won't be the last. So I can say they did say that for a while, too.
Your first child, boy or girl?
No, both my first two are boys. My first three, honestly.
Okay, all boys.
Yeah, but in this situation, the boys, yeah.
I'm curious, did you want a girl or did you want a boy, just from what you were hoping for?
I didn't want girls. To be honest, I didn't want kids at all. But if I, obviously I would have chosen boys.
Okay. All right, so
Did you experience any postpartum through this?
Yeah. I mean, I was depressed the entire pregnancy. I was depressed afterwards, but for a while, like the first 3 months, I was so happy. It was just me and my son, you know? So yeah. But I definitely was postpartum.
So just to jump to your third child, or let me ask you this before we go to the third child, the status of baby daddy, number one. Where's he at now? Where was he at during that time? Was he active? Was he not active? Because you said he had another girl.
No, so he didn't actually become fully active, or not even fully active, because I don't know how I can explain this. Because obviously I didn't get away until I was 18 when I got my first apartment. So he would be there, but it's not like he would be working or providing or anything like that. The best thing I could do was do my 2 jobs while I was in high school, save up, so, I could get away. So he was just, at that point, he was a babysitter, but it wasn't just him. In the house, it would be him, my mom, and everybody else. Because a couple of times, I don't know how I can explain it. I would ask my mom, can you, get him to go? You got to figure it out, things like that. So it's at that point, to answer your question, that's how, I'm kind of ranting off. I'm kind of just, I do need a little break, but yeah, that's how I ended up getting to Stockholm, because we couldn't get rid of him. I couldn't get rid of him, so. Sorry.
You said you needed a break?
Just to breathe.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Breathe.
We can go. Yeah, we good. We good. Because eventually I'm not going to be crying all the time. So we're good.
So was the second child that was conceived, was that consensual? Or was...
No, that was when he forced himself on me. I was still in my I almost said 6 months. I was still in my 6-week trial when I got pregnant again. So no, it wasn't.
So neither child was a pleasant experience, right?
No, remember I did say, I opened the door because like I said, the whole pizza, that whole shit. I opened that door, but when I want to say maybe 2 times of doing that, the first and the second time, I just couldn't do it no more. From then, I couldn't get rid of him. So when I would start locking my door, he would start coming through my window. So yeah.
How was he with the children?
I'm sorry, go back again.
How was he with the children? How did he interact with them, or did he interact at all?
So there's a situation where I remember one time when I had walked in, my son was maybe 3 months, and he was watching porn with him on his lap.
Oh.
So actually, now that I think about it, I did tell my my third baby dad, the one that's dead. I remember I told him about it, and thank God he's dead, but he would use some things I've gone through, traumatize me. He would use that shit against me. And I remember he would film himself antagonizing me, but try to make it seem like I'm the problem.
So let's go right there then. And we might jump around regarding the men in your life, but the second baby father.
Yeah.
How does that come about? Because now you have 2 children. You said you left home.
Yeah, so I left home. I think I was single. I was single and celibate for 2 years before I met him. So around the time I met him, I had actually got sexually assaulted. This was back in 2017. I was living in south side of Columbus. Somebody had broke into the house and I was sexually assaulted on my couch. Which I believe that should be public record. But anyway, so that week, the week of the assault or whatever, that was the first time I had experimented with cocaine. Yeah. And that's how I met him.
Okay, you have to let us know as far as how that week went, because for that traumatizing experience of an assault, and then meeting him, because I don't know. Again, only you could walk in your shoes. But how did that week go for you? To even meet him, what were you going through? If you can remember back in 2017.
So sorry. Can I get another one of these and a bottle of water? So like I remember like that week I was like when I was sexually assaulted. So from the night of the sexual assault, I think afterwards, like the guy that left, I actually remember his name. Now he actually went to jail the day after him doing that to me, because I think a day or two prior to him doing that to me, mind you, I'm finding all this out afterwards. But anyway, the day after he sexually assaulted me, he went to jail because 2 days prior to us sexually assaulting me, he shot and killed somebody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And he goes by Face. I know his legal name, but it's best not say that. But yeah, he goes by Face.
You said that's when.
And then
Drug. Have you did drugs before prior to this?
no, for me, weed was my main thing, and thank you. And before then, I wasn't much of a drinker either. Maybe some wine coolers.
Right.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Cause like 18, when I had my first apartment, after 6 months, it was just me, my kids, my sisters would come over, and we would drink. But I wasn't much like, by that time, I wasn't much of a drinker. I would say I definitely like chilled out. But as far as like after the sexual assault, I was out of it for a while. Like I paced back and forth in the house for hours in the dark. Literally, I paced because I couldn't, I was just out of it. Like trying to like what the fuck, this can't happen. Like just trying to think, like, I don't know. It was like, it took me back to a place I thought I'd forgotten. So I did go to the hospital. I called my sister. I think by this time, I think it was like, when I called her, I think it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. She's like, yeah, bring him over or whatever. So I dropped my kids off. I go to the hospital. And then I leave the hospital, and she did keep them for a couple of days. Those couple of days I'll go back to the house. I was very uneasy. I didn't really want to be there for obvious reasons. Because this was a big house, Granted, it was shit. My little ceiling light would hang from the wires and stuff. It was a piece of shit. But the 3 days after leaving the hospital, I stayed in the house. I didn't smoke weed. I didn't come out. I just cried. I paced back and forth. I would sit, ponder for a couple hours, sleep, wake up, do it all again. And then I think that 4th day of me leaving the house, and that's actually when I met, she's actually my friend now. So I'm not going to say her name, but I had met her brother. He was walking, and I think I just like ran out of gas, and I was just like sitting, and then I don't know, it's like by the grace of God, he was like, hey, you okay? You just sitting here. And I was just like, I ran out of gas, mind you. I'm not going to lie, at that time, I'm like, nigga, if you don't get the fuck away from me, obviously. But it's like, maybe this nigga might give me some gas money so I can't get the fuck away from him. So fuck it. And then he was just like, I ain't gonna lie, he just kept it real. He's like, girl, you look horrible. What's up? Like, and then I broke down.
Broke down to him?
No, like I just broke down. I'm sorry.
No, please, again, take your time.
So like, it was cool. Like I was chilling and stuff, just trying to just go. And then he was just like, you look horrible. I just broke down, and he was just like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, in my mind, like, if you don't, like, in my mind, I'm like, get away from me. But he wasn't like, like overbearing and, creepy or nothing. He was like genuinely concerned. So, and I'm not gonna lie, that it was the start of a downfall, because that's how I met my second baby dad, through him. But in that very moment, it was like an angel, you know? So anyway, I told him everything that happened. And then he's like, you know what? I got a sister that you would like or whatever like that. So I ended up meeting his sister. And then I think we became really cool. But anyway, that week, like the end of that week, I'm sorry. Like that week went so fast. Like by the end of that week, you know, I caught, you know, somebody, you know. So I was like, I didn't see that. No fucking way. Because one of my favorite movies is Scarface, but I never in a million years thought, you know. So like when I see it, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say shit. And then I kind of looked over, I see it again, and I'm like, yo, he was like, yeah, they do that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I looked, and I'm not gonna lie, like I said, by this time, like, it's the same week I just got raped. I didn't give a fuck. Yeah. I did not care about myself. I did not love myself. I felt worthless, trying to figure anything out to do to get past it. So I seen it, and I was like, I said, can I try? So I'm not gonna make it seem like somebody forced me to do it. So I said, can I try? He's like, nah, you don't want to. I said, trust me, my life ain't shit. Like, I don't have nothing to live for. So I tried it. I ain't like it. So.
What feeling did it give you?
It was really annoying. It was like, it didn't make me numb. I'll tell you that much. I wanted to clean, but I was like really energized. Like I had a lot of energy. And I wanted to clean, and I just kept thinking a lot. And then I got depressed. So it didn't help with anything. So I found out really quick I didn't like it. So for a while, you know, that was just what they would do. I was cool with just smoking my weed, but I did have people who could help me, you know, pass my time from that. And my kids was still around, but they weren't around, if that makes sense. Like, you will never be able to, none of my kids will be able to tell you they see anybody. Yeah, because I don't play that.
And you said your second baby dad is when you met him at this time. Yeah,
like no. Like, so I met him, so I got raped, you know, that week I met the guy. So when I met his friend, we were all doing it. So when, you know, I saw him, he said, yeah, they do that. I tried it, you know, we're doing it, found out I didn't like it. Oh boy pulls up with, I don't know if it's his uncle or his cousin, but it's his. Okay, hold on, y'all. Okay, I need help.
No, please take your time.
No, because like his cousin's dad is his cousin's baby dad. So what does that make him, the uncle or the cousin?
Oh man, it makes him confused.
So it's not just me. Okay, that's why I need help.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Well,
but
anyway,
it's some relation.
Yeah. So anyway, they pull up. The people I was with, the guy that I met that week who caught me in the alley or whatever. You know, he's talking to him. He sells it to him. So by this time when I meet him, he's already dealing and doing. So that's how I met him. So I want to say maybe 3 months. We're just kicking it. But we didn't like start off fucking and things like that because, you know. Right. So I did, you know, tell him what I went through and things like that, which was fucking stupid because that nigga turned out to be a fucking monster. He turned out to be no better. Well, he ain't raped me, I'll tell you that though. So I'll give him that. But he did everything else.
From meeting him, like you said, it's been 3 months of kicking it. How quickly did you get pregnant?
So I almost want to say maybe fairly quickly, to be honest. So like we kicked it for 3 months, and then after that 3 months, excuse me, you know, we started, you know, being sexually active. So honestly, I want to say, excuse me, maybe 2-3 months after being sexually active. So I would say I got pregnant fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's not enough time to kind of know somebody.
Yeah.
Again, a man can hide a lot within 5 months of who he really is.
Yeah,
So-
and granted, what he told me about himself in that 5 months was nothing close to who he was. So, what I believe, I've said this in another interview before, but that is just generally how I feel as far as like the decisions, like things that I've gone through. Like me, I'm trying to heal from being raped, but I'm healing in the wrong way. You know, I turned to strangers, then turned to drugs, then turn to somebody who I barely know. So like, I take my accountability, and I feel like I failed my kids before I conceived them because I chose who their dads was, if that makes sense. Like, regardless of like what I've gone through, I'm a bomb-ass mom. But I would say I definitely failed my kids before they were conceived because of who their dads was, just everything.
Did he also abuse you as well?
He didn't start off that way. It was more so like, so we were together on and off for 3 years. And then by, I want to say like that second year when we were more inconsistent, that's when the abuse started. When he went to jail, I'm trying to think, because he's been to jail a couple times while we were together. But I think for me, if I'm not, he's only been to jail once for me in the 3 years that we were together, but he was in and out for other things. But I want to say like that second year when we were more consistent, that's when the abuse started. But it didn't start out that way. Not at all.
Where are your sons at this point in time?
Back in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I can't get into.
Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Because I don't want nobody to know where my kids are. But I do know where my kids are.
So in regards to your third pregnancy, I'm always curious, whenever you go to someone that you know for a few months and you tell them, hey, I'm pregnant, what is the reception that he gave you? The second baby daddy?
Wait, one more. What was the last part of that?
The second baby daddy. When you tell him, hey, I'm pregnant, he already know you have 2 kids. Like, how does he receive that information?
The second baby daddy? No, he didn't have any kids.
No,
I mean, when you told him that you're pregnant, like,
how did he
hey,
feel about it?
yeah, I'm pregnant. Was it like happy, sad, monotone, like,
I don't remember.
Okay.
We're going to have to come back to that one.
Yeah.
It'll probably hit me.
Did you think about not keeping the child? Or did you like, oh, I got pregnant?
I thought about not keeping all of them.
Okay. Did you ever go to any abortion clinic at any time?
I didn't have that much courage. And I truly didn't believe in abortion either.
While you were pregnant, were you still on drugs?
No. So, like, with my third son, I would say I did start smoking weed. That was the first pregnancy I had where I would use anything. And that was because actually my doctor recommended it. She didn't say, well, I don't think you really need to, but it was so bad I couldn't keep like nausea medicine down. So she just like, you know what? Try weed at this point because it's not working. So like, I did try weed, but as far as like coke and no, I don't, but.
Normally when you tell, even to go back to the first baby daddy, normally when you say, hey, I'm pregnant, some of them will say, hey, let's think about going to the clinic. I mean, did any of the fathers of any of your children say, hey, we might need to go to the clinic?
The first one, absolutely not. I don't remember how that whole thing went. I know my mom for sure was like, we gonna go. With actually the first one, he didn't really express if he was happy or not. I don't think he gave a fuck because I don't recall asking him either. But I do remember him saying, oh, you'll be okay. I do remember that. Now that I think about it. The second one, yeah, I don't know. I have to keep thinking on that one. I really don't know. The third one, though, when I told him, that nigga told me he had to tell his other baby mamas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he didn't say whether he was mad or happy. It was weird, like, because the day I found out I was pregnant was the day I was leaving him the fuck alone. Like, I dropped that nigga off at his auntie's house because I love my daughters so fucking much. I took a Plan B and I was on birth control. That's how much they wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah. They say that when you take a Plan B and be on birth control, that kind of cancels out.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, and it was like, so like, I'm gonna kind of like go down on how I found out I was pregnant with my daughters, because that's a story in its fucking self.
These are your twin daughters.
Yeah, my twins. Because
Before you tell that story, real quick, does any of your baby fathers have any children before your children with them? Are any of them like already fathers?
The third one.
Okay, he was already a father.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I think he had 3 other kids before me.
Okay, we're jumping around. Let's get to your daughters.
Okay.
How does that come about as far as meeting him and going through pregnancy, going through it, and of course.
Honestly, I think in that whole situation, I will take accountability on that one, because when I met him, I wasn't really interested in messing with him. So after some time we did, obviously end up messing around. But I'm not gonna lie, I knew I was fertile, so I shouldn't have been fucking him in the first place. But I did not know about the whole Plan B and the birth control thing. So, Right. But when I met him, I had 5 incomes when I met him, because I was trying to get the other 3 back. Because by this time, Children's Services had taken them, because the second baby dad had already passed. And his mom called Children's Services on me every single day. Look, I kid you the fuck not. Every single day. We actually go back to court August 9th, where they gonna bring all this shit up again.
And again, I know we're moving around, but he passed away, and I remember you were saying that they wanted to implicate you into his passing. Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, can you explain kind of what happened in his passing?
Really, what it comes down to is, at the end of the day, that nigga did drugs, and his mom need to get over that part. Because the facts is the facts. Nobody killed him. So what happened is, so the day that the last time I saw him, so he spent the night prior, but we did get into an argument that morning. So when he left, he did take his son that we have together, and then the 2 that I already had, which is, from the first. He took them to Chuck E. Cheese. He came back. He had a flower for me. Obviously, I was still holding on to the attitude that we had earlier, because before he left, we didn't settle that. So I still had my attitude. Yeah, I did. He gave me the rose, and I threw it. It was just like, kind of like what guys do. You tripping, I'm leaving. Right. So it was one of those. So, with him, by this time, like, this is the 3rd year, like that 3rd and final year, so I already was used to his tactics, his games. I already knew what he was. So, because I actually got the message, I have to go get my other phone, but we could broadcast this on this if you want to. I don't give a damn. But my last final messages to him was some hateful shit. But like I said, I already knew what his game was. Mind you, when I already had my son and stuff, mind you, I don't do drugs and shit when I was pregnant. Mind you, I don't do drugs now. I smoke weed, I do. But at that time, like, he was still into doing drugs, and for a while I thought he stopped. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna take it from him for a while. I really think he did stop, because he was normal. I could tell when he started up again, because he was kind of face a little bit sunken, the bags around his eyes, the crackhead behavior and shit. But I thought it was just, the usual, which was the cocaine and the alcohol. I don't know how true it is, but, from hearing from his family around the time he died, that nigga started experimenting with fentanyl, heroin, all type of crazy ass shit. And it was just like, for what? But anyway, but I also, after his death, I found out that he also had the problem 3 years prior to me meeting him. So this was already a normal for him. So I can only talk about my 3 years I got with him. And that's just facts. I can only talk about my 3 years. But yeah,
When did he pass away? What year was that?
March. I think it's March 14th, 2020, because he died 2 days before my son's birthday. Yeah.
Right when COVID hit.
Right when COVID hit. So during his death, like the whole grieving process, the mourning, the world had just shut down. Like, I want to say it shut down 2 days later. Like, wow. Yeah, like it was so much. Like I couldn't grieve. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't do a damn thing. Like it just, except for it, because like now does it bother me? I don't give a damn. If y'all say I killed him, shit, why not? I killed him. Obviously I didn't, but I'm not about to sit here and be like.
And you feel like he was depressed, and because you said he gave you a rose and you threw it down, and therefore he might have went a little hard on the drugs. Possibly. So, it's all allegedly and possibly.
Whatever he had going, I'm not going to make it seem like he wasn't depressed, because obviously he did have the alcohol and drug problem. So I'm pretty sure that did lead into maybe like some, mental illness, like a depression or something. Because he also, this is like I said, because do you remember how earlier I said that I'm happy that he died? And I mean it for two reasons. One, because he has a chance to live a better life. And because I could be fucking happy. And honestly, me being real, do I think I would have married him? Yeah. I wouldn't. If he didn't die, I wouldn't have wisened up. I wouldn't have been smart enough to, No. And actually, even after his death, shit, look at my last baby dad. I wasn't smart then, but I'm smart now. Shit.
No, that's real. That's real. And you said the family wanted to blame you for that. Yeah. And mind you, again, we're going through COVID and all this, but yet.
Yeah. So, I know I be talking a lot, because it's a lot to try to squeeze into such a little
we're talking my whole life here.
Time. Yeah. So, to the day that he died, boom, he left, he came back. We had that argument early in that morning. He left, he came back, he gave me the rose. I threw the rose, he left. So when he left, like I said, I already knew. We're 3 years in. I already knew what it was. A bitch, a bag, and a bottle. The 3 Bs. Yeah. So when he left, we were still communicating. We were still like having sporadic messages here and there. Now, the very last messages from him to me was, hey, well, actually, no, his very last message to me was, I'm gonna be home in a little minute. Because I told him, like, I just got done cooking. You got a plate here. You missed dinner. The shit's in the microwave. He never made it, but he did say he was on his way. Now, where I was, he was 15 minutes from me. I'm on the west side of Columbus, closer to Galloway. You guys don't know where it is, but maybe the people who are watching from my city know. So I'm on the west side of Columbus. I'm like right down the street from Galloway. He's on the east side of Columbus, right there around the corner from the fucking hospital. You believe that shit. Anyway, his cousin ended up calling me at like 3 a.m. saying she can't get a hold of Alex's mom. No, mind you, his last message to me was that he was coming home. So when he didn't respond and stuff, I was thinking it was the same normal. He's out with a bitch, he's fucking, he's drunk, he forgot that he got obligation, a son, whatever the fuck, back at home, all that shit. So I'm not gonna lie, my last messages was, fuck you, I hope you die. That shit's gonna kill you. I'm gonna piss on your grave. Shit, I think I told him I was gonna piss on his dad's grave too. I said a whole bunch of hurtful ass shit, but I'm not gonna lie. We had a very toxic relationship, but a lot of people also don't know, but those who know, they know. And those who get it, they get it. And those who don't. Sometimes when dealing with people who are on drugs, sometimes to get through to them, sometimes to even make them listen to you, even just a little bit, you might gotta strike them where the fuck it hurts. Because they don't listen. It's drugs. So yeah. I did say some of that shit. But by that time, he was already dead, so he never saw it.
Yeah. All right, so let's circle back to your girls. Mm-hmm. Now we're going into where you have 3 children.
Yeah.
As you said, with this second, child protective services already in your life.
Yep.
Based on the mother and just.
Yeah.
So go into as far as meeting the latest of the father of your girls and how that came about and kind of.
So with him, Like I said, when Children's Services took my kids, I didn't actually leave the house for 6 months. I was very depressed. Didn't talk to nobody. Like literally nobody saw me. My mom couldn't even get a hold of me. Like immediately blocked everybody out of my life. Like it was bad. So when I finally did kind of get out that little funk, I said, I got to do something. So I did. I had 5 incomes. My janitorial, Ubering, lifting, welding, a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I met him because I was also doing like regular Uber, but what you also would call hood Uber, giving people a ride from the hood type. Yeah. So I met him, giving rides and stuff. And then for a while, it was just like that, giving rides. He would go from one place to another. Turns out he was hitting swerves. I found that out pretty.
Yeah, what's called hitting squares?
Swerves.
Hitting swerves. Oh.
Selling drugs.
Yeah. He was getting to it.
Yeah. But anyway, but we was just like, chilling friends for a while. And like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't interested in him for a while because I'm giving him rides. So, but at the same time, it was like after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't know him, but I know him enough to, see what it's hitting for. Yeah. So, to be honest, it wasn't like that. Granted, nobody asked. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. Obviously, I was around enough to get pregnant. So there goes that.
And you were saying you were trying to prevent from having kids. You were on birth control, and you took a Plan B to make sure.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I didn't know it canceled each other out. So when I found out at the hospital, like you couldn't tell me I was pregnant. Like I was not going because I'm not gonna lie, I hit they ass with now you guys are denying me my right to my care because if I want another test done, you guys have to do it. Like it's HIPAA shit. Like I was really like, I need my confirmation. They came back and they said, no, you pregnant. And I'm like, I can't be. I just had my period. I got the implant and I said, I took a Plan B. And they said, And I'm like, what? Like, let me know. So when they told me like, I don't know what it is inside of whatever chemical it is, it cancels each other out. So I'm not gonna lie, I did consider, the abortion and stuff. So the way this happened, I kid you the fuck not. So boom, after I left the hospital, they say set up your first appointment, like your OB appointment. So when I did my first OB appointment, they was like, let's just do an ultrasound, see exactly where you are. When we did the ultrasound, there was nothing there. Nothing at all. But my levels were measuring like 2-3 months. So I was already fucking pregnant, but nothing was there. So I want to say, she said, just come back next week. I did four ultrasounds. So she said, come back next week. Still nothing. So she's like, okay, well, by this 3rd appointment, this is going to be your D&C appointment. So at the D&C appointment, before you go back there to get your procedure done, because although I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have the babies or whatever. The D&C appointment, the sac showed up with a little dot in there. So they was like, oh, well, this is interesting. So they said, okay, well, what do you want to do? And I said, we could still continue because they said, okay, well, at this point, we got to find out what's going on with this type shit. Like now we have to make sure that it's viable before we just start, ripping shit out. And I was like, well, what's the difference if you guys were already going to do it before this popped up? Yeah. So they said, this is just going to be the last appointment. After this, you can just get your D&C or whatever the fuck. When I kid you the fuck not, bro. When I went to this last appointment, that little dot, it turned into, you got the bag and then you got, the baby, the fetus. Yeah. Fetus. But it's not just the one fetus. It's 2 with heartbeats. Like when I tell you, it literally went from 0 to nothing in a matter of 4 weeks. Wow. And it's like, okay, I don't get why we have to wait because I feel like if you guys just did what I said I wanted to do, because, and that was another thing though too. I told them that I still wanted to do it, but they was like, we still have to figure out whether it's viable or not. So when they did that, it fucked me up because, when we did that last appointment and that was supposed to be that final appointment, because I already told them what I wanted. I wanted abortion. That was going to be my first time, you know? But anyway, when the heartbeats and shit popped up, we already had the heartbeat bill or heartbeat law or whatever the fuck it's called. It was pretty much that when the heartbeat is detected, you can't get an abortion no more. So, and I think now, as of currently, I think it's been overturned by Roe and Wade or whatever the fuck that shit's called.
Right, Roe v. Wade.
It's what?
Roe v. Wade? Yeah, you're right.
Roe v.
Roe versus Wade, but you're correct.
Oh, okay, so I knew I was somewhere in the vicinity of what I'm talking about. So, and I'm not gonna lie, at that time, I did not have the money to go to Indiana. I did not have enough money to go to Indiana to, you know. So I kind of was dealt with that one. And it was weird because I feel like my life is very parallel to my mom. So when I found out I was pregnant, it was like, I wasn't shocked. When the two things popped up, I was not shocked at the fuck all. Because me and my twin are my mom's last. So I kind of just felt like it was going to be like that.
Right. Normally twins have twins. So to know that you had twins and again, you got to let the father know that, hey, there's two in here. Mm-hmm. How does he receive that, if you don't mind?
So now this is the day, like, so like, yeah, when I tell you, sometimes I wish I was smarter, man. But anyway, when I told him, this is the very day I went and dropped this nigga off at his auntie house. Like, I was done. Like, so I'm like, now I gotta tell this nigga I'm actually pregnant. Because mind you, I wasn't telling him nothing. Like, because in my mind, I already knew. You said what? You said
during this time you weren't telling him nothing. During the
no, because I just knew I was getting an abortion. Right. Because I'm like, I'm already talking to the doctors. We're doing these ultrasounds. We're in the process. I'm thinking I'm getting the DNC until, you know, obviously not. So it's like, okay, I'm pregnant. It's two of them in there. It's not just one, because I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot of F-bombs. Like, I was like, oh, I'm dropping a fucking litter. Like, I was not, yeah, it was a lot to take in. So then it was like, this nigga, I'm stuck with this nigga for 18 years. And that's a lie, because that nigga don't come around. So, yeah.
All right, Amora, let's get to it then. In regards to, you now have 5 children.
Yeah.
What age are you?
I'm 27.
What age, when you have your twins, how old are you at that time?
24, 25.
24, 25.
Because they'll be 3 or maybe 26, 25, 26. They'll be 3 this year. Okay.
So you're 25, 26 with 5 kids. And, you know, and there's one thing you told me because mind you, your first ones was at 16. When you mentioned that a reason that you wanted to do what you did was because you stayed in a place to where there was a park outside of your house, and your kids would look and see that, and you cannot, because, you know, of motherhood and having newborns and everything else, you couldn't even take your kids to a park that they could look out the window because of the stress of having 5 children and it's just you.
No, that's not it at all.
Oh, go ahead, please explain.
So ultimately, the week of everything happening, well, I'm gonna say 2 weeks prior, because, you know, this is where it's about to get real. And don't get me wrong, it's already been real, but a bitch might start crying again. So
let's say your story.
Yeah. So prior to me giving them up, I already had that thought in my head a year prior. And this was when I had that house that was broken into that previous September. That's when shit for me started going downhill. So fast forward to, you know, this house. This year I was actually starting to get on my feet. Things were going good. I had 2 jobs. I was in 2 colleges. Now I'm just in the 1 college. You know, like, I was really doing my fucking thing. Moved into this beautiful 5-bedroom house, 2 basements, 2 full bathrooms. Like, I really, like, by my fucking self, no Section 8, no, none of that. Like, I was doing my shit. the fucking landlord, his motherfucking ass decided he was gonna have siding put on the house, which was cool. It was kind of ugly anyway, but whatever. It was big. It was my home. So anyway, like the Mexicans that he hired to put siding on the house, instead of trying to like actually unscrew the electric box, they tried to jimmy the shit out the wall, caught the whole back of my house on fire. Yeah. Now the work from home job that I had was exclusively on work from home. We didn't have a main office or none of that. Boom. Obviously, lost that job. I wasn't tripping. I still had the other job, and that was actually working with Spectrum. So I wasn't tripping. So at this, literally by the end of this week, boom, here we go with fucking JFS, which is the welfare system. So they go taking my kids off the motherfucking roster, literally for no reason. Like, they're trying to say, what'd they say? Oh, they said you finished one of your colleges. Yeah, I did, but I'm still working, which qualifies me for daycare. I'm still in school, which qualifies me for daycare. So why are you guys going based off just the one college? I still have 2 qualifying activities. Boom. So when I lost that, I didn't have nobody to watch the kids. So when I reached out to, my twins' dad, obviously I didn't reach out to the one from the 15 to 18 because I don't have a number for him. Why would I want him around? Obvious reasons. But anyway, when I reached out to the girl's dad, now mind you, I ain't thought about laying with this man. My daughter's about to be 3, in November. I don't want this man. So I call him, I'm like, can you help me? Can you watch the girls or whatever? He's like, oh, well, don't you got me on child support? No, yes, I do have him on, excuse me, I have hiccups. So, chronic hiccups is what I mean. But anyway, so when I put him on child support a year after my daughters was born, he didn't start paying until this year. So, and he was only required to pay $196 a month for both my daughters. And he's like, that's taking all my money. And then he's like, well, you're not getting anything outside of that. And he's like, if you take me off of child support, I could do more for them. And I'm like, nigga, I know for a fact that's a lie because the whole year before I put you on child support, you didn't, no diapers, no wipes, no, not a damn thing. Even if you didn't provide any of that shit, you didn't even pick them up so I could go to work and, get all that shit. I could do it by my damn self if you watch them, So it was like, so I know you're lying and shit like that. But anyway, he proceeds to tell me shit that don't matter is that he got another girl and she's pregnant. They about to have another baby. And it was just like, okay, so he's pretty much telling me that he's not going to, help me with my daughters because he's moved on. And I'm like, you can move on. That's fine. I don't want to be with you, but you still have daughters, Mm-hmm. And like I said, with this third baby dad, it's a couple of times where he did put his hands on me, but I'm not going to make it seem like that man beat the shit out of me and did all the other shit the other ones did. He did regular nigga shit. But, so obviously, yes, I would like for him to step up and be a dad, whatever the fuck we went through as, a couple or whatever the fuck, because we didn't try an actual relationship until after I was pregnant. Because like I said, he was just somebody I was fucking. But any fucking way.
How much? Go.
I know, because I think I just got off track.
How much government assistance are you on at this time?
At this time, I don't have nothing. Well, I mean, I got, medical through the state.
Okay, so my question to you is like, in Columbus they have like TANF and stuff like that today? Yeah,
so when I lost my jobs, I did apply for that because I do have those qualifying activities. And it was still like, you want to know something? I believe I didn't hear back from anybody until I think last month or the month or a couple of weeks prior to last month. And it was like, okay, it's too late. I don't have the kids. But after I did give up the kids, the last 2 months after that, they were still giving me food stamps and I was getting $1,300 a month in food stamps. So I did call them. I let them know, like, you guys are giving me food stamps. I don't have the kids. So they was like, you obviously can't send them back. I'm not going to sell them because what the fuck do I need to sell the food stamps for? So what I did is I put the food stamps where my kids was. It's the only thing that made sense because, I don't know. It just made sense to me.
And then the housing, you tried to go for housing?
Like the food stamp, hold on.
So for housing, did you ever try to?
Section 8? Yeah. So with Section 8, it's a waiting list. And I did have Section 8 previously when I had the other house, like the one that was in September. I'm talking about the one I got broken into. I did have Section 8, but when they broke in, I was told to pretty much like leave the mess for evidence because they had to come and sweep for evidence and stuff like that. Right. And mind you, everybody can get the 911 calls for that thing too. Because speaking of which, I actually almost got shot. That's why I don't have too many feelings about this. Was it Stacy Massey lady? Like, it's fucked up, don't get me wrong, but I know how but I actually almost got shot because I ain't gonna lie, I looked like I was an intruder. I had like 4 guns on me running up to my house. Yeah, cause my babies was inside, so yeah. But they wasn't, my stepmom was there, she called me, she let me know it was niggas in the house. I don't fuck with no niggas, so who the fuck's in my house? So, but my back door, they split that bitch in half, like straight down the middle. Mm-hmm.
So what happened with the Section 8 after that?
Oh, so yeah, anyway, like the cops, they told me that I had to leave it for evidence so they could sweep it and do whatever for fingerprints. So it took 2 days for them to, for somebody to come out and, put the back door on. So obviously I didn't stay there. So when the maintenance man came, they told the landlord, like, oh, the house is messy. And yeah, it was. The shit was ransacked. Like, the police have not came out. I want to say police didn't come out until 3 days later, until after the break-in. So I was in Dublin with my twin sister. So yeah, and then I'm not gonna lie, because I did have a dog, and you're not supposed to have a dog on Section 8, but I'm a single mom, obviously look what the fuck just happened.
So they got rid of it because of the dog violence?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like I said, I'm a single mom. I can only have so many fucking guns. So it's like, I kind of do need that extra set of protection because I don't have a man. So I ain't gonna lie, I was too broke to afford an alarm system too.
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So most people, as they seen, and again, we're going to talk about leading up to the CPS and things of that nature, but when we talk about the CPS nature in itself, I don't know which baby daddy it was or which one, but, and you can, confirm with me or not, but I believe one of them, from what you were saying, was
on Tasha K?
Yeah, what was tripping because you were wanting to be out and about, outside in the world, be with the rappers. You was dating a rapper, and you didn't want to take your kids because you wanted to be out in the lifestyle of the rap world and be with
So okay, I think I know what you're talking about. Is when I was live and I was saying, don't you think I would like to go see? No. So a lot of people got that mixed up. So I wasn't like fully dating a rapper, but I was talking to somebody who had already previously helped me out. But remember I said I was already doing my thing. But I'm not gonna lie, by the time like when shit, when everything happened, we kind of weren't really talking. Like we're still on good terms, but we don't talk the way we did before. I'm not gonna say what happened, but some things did happen. Obviously NDAs, I can't say no names. They ain't about to get me. What money do they got to come get? But yeah, it was like I wouldn't be in school if it wasn't for him.
Yeah. So were you pursuing a life of what they call it? Not groupie. The groupie lifestyle. Like I just want to be in the lifestyle of celebrities. Not want to be someone famous myself, but I just want to be around those who are famous. Let's quell those rumors.
Oh, that don't make sense for one.
Yeah, let's quell that. Yeah,
that don't make sense. No, I don't want to be a groupie. Like, obviously, I'm not going to say who, but I got numbers right now in my phone that I for sure wouldn't have been able to reach when I'm still a regular person, but
yeah,
a little bit,
Such as like. Yeah,
so it's like, no, I don't want to be a groupie because I'm celibate. If I was a groupie, I'd be sucking every Dick, Tom, and Harry out here trying to get a little bit of something, a little name popping. I'm not doing none of that. I set my ass right the fuck in the house. So whatever groupie they talking about, it ain't me. Shit. If I was a groupie, I wouldn't have had to get my kids up because I would have been fucking the right nigga. And I would have had money.
Hey.
I mean, I should have been.
Have you ever thought about maybe selling?
No, hold on. Actually, now this, like I said, I'm a real ass bitch. I'm not about to lie about nothing. Have I ever sold pussy? I'm not gonna be like, oh, for $40. For one, I don't know what bitch is out here doing anything for $40 or whatever, but I'm not gonna lie. There was a time I needed my rent paid and some guy wanted some pussy. Okay, you want some pussy? I need my rent paid. The fuck, I'm struggling. So what you gonna do? You can either go find the next bitch or you gonna pay my rent. He paid my rent. I gave him some pussy. And this time, mind you, this was 2018.
Right. I'm gonna be delicate when I say this. As a woman, you know, I just think if I was a woman, right, and my kids were about to leave, right, I would find more men to sell pussy to. I'm just
On my mama, I really thought about it.
Right.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I thought about selling. If I lied and say, shit, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I'd be lying if it didn't cross my mind.
Well, so why didn't you do it? Just
because I've done it before and I didn't like it. My body's already been manipulated and abused before in a way I didn't like. I want to be better for my daughters. So it's like, even though they're young now, like, don't get me wrong, they'll probably grow up and see and understand this. But they won't be looking like me. They won't be sounding like me. I'm taking all the risks so they don't have to. That's just not saying that this is the risk I wanted to take, not the light I wanted to be in, but it is what it is.
Now, part of your rant was also that, you know, niggas could just up and leave their kids. Why can't I? And maybe you were talking out of emotion at the time, but I think that's where a lot of people who watch your live or watch that video says, oh, she wants to be part of what niggas do. Because yes, there is a stigma in America where fathers, sometimes black fathers, if we're going to speak about us, will say, hey, I'm going to put a baby in you and I'm going to leave. And you're like, I have to stay home and watch these kids while you go out and run around and I still have to chase you. And you wanted that same freedom, I'm assuming, during that live. But go ahead, I don't want to speak yet. Speak for yourself as far as what, for you to say that, where were you coming from?
So honestly, it's a little weird because, like, if they actually listened, obviously they didn't, but I literally did say, oh, you know, guys do it all the time. Why can't I? Why they don't care? Why the fuck should I? That literally following that segment, I literally said, well, I fucking do. I obviously do care. Just because a guy doesn't mean it's right. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, even sad it is to say, but like, don't get me wrong, I'm still very active in my kids' life. I still try to do what I can. I still very much visit them. Shit, obviously, I'm not posting them online because it's already pictures of them from, you know, past pictures and stuff. And obviously right now, I don't want to post my kids. So, but you'll definitely, maybe some people for sure will definitely in my city say, well, you know, I've seen Lexx around with her, you know, walking with her son or something like that to the store or whatever, you know. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that just because they did it don't mean I can. What I'm saying is them niggas did it purposely. Like, they did it because they wanted to do it. They, mind you, and I'm not saying it like I'm jealous because it's a beautiful thing. But, you know, they've had time to acquire wives or get these colleges, degrees, or, you know, this career and stuff. The difference is they didn't come back for my kids. My kids don't reap none of those benefits. So what I'm saying is, okay, unfortunately, I don't want to, but this is literally the choice that I'm left with. So yes, if I have to, I'm gonna go leave my kids, but I'm making sure that y'all know I'm gonna come back and get them. That's what they didn't do. So I'm going back for my kids. I don't care what nobody else says or how they feel. So.
Before you let go of your kids, did you ever try like anything like antidepressants or anything like that?
I wasn't depressed. So no.
You were overwhelmed?
I was overwhelmed because I wasn't trying to die with leaving my kids with nothing.
Okay.
So like, you know, do you remember when I was saying like, you know, like I almost died and shit? Like, because I was very stressed and overwhelmed. My house just caught on fire. I just lost both my jobs. I'm trying to DoorDash, fucking, it ain't coming up with nothing. Nowhere to sleep. The damn landlord is not giving me no inch leeway or nothing. And it's like, it's your people that fucked up. I would have my job right now. Like, I would be cool. You got to fix this. He wasn't trying to meet me in the middle or nothing until after I went viral.
So did you talk to anybody like a doctor, a psychiatric doctor, or anything like that?
Not until after like I started doing like interviews, because with some of these interviews, like the very first ones that I started to do, I didn't realize that I didn't actually heal from a lot of things that I suppressed. Right. And I didn't actually fully sit down and take accountability. I mean, I did, but I didn't fully like really sit there and think. Like with some of the men that I've chose to deal with in my life, they showed me signs off rip that they weren't a good person. I was falling in love with the idea of who I think they could have been. So like I said, I take my accountability. As far as like my, you know, like my daughter's dad, I knew that nigga wasn't shit. But it's like, I mean, I wasn't trying to get pregnant, but it was like afterwards, it was like, I'm kind of stuck. I'm like, shit, I see. Because, you know, from conversations, I'm like, shit, I see, you know, he thinks a little bit, like, you know. So it's like, he showed me off rip that he wasn't shit. And I still tried to, but at this point, like I said, I was already pregnant.
Right. So are you seeking any therapy now or?
No, I'm not. I was, but I'm not gonna lie, they pissed me off more than they helped me.
Right.
Because like, they'll tell me to say something. Well, I don't know, like they will literally reiterate everything I just told them. I'll tell them how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, what I'm trying to do to cope. They'll be like, oh, well, I think, you know, your coping mechanisms are good, but have you tried this? Bitch, I just told you I was counting to 10. I just told you I was writing in a diary. It's like sometimes they don't really be listening. And a lot of them really just want the money, and it's like, shit, just throughout me speaking, doing my interviews, that's me talking to people. That's me talking to whatever audience is out there who's going through what I'm going through. And with some of the people that I have like in my inbox that I do know for a fact I've helped, who are actually watching my story, who I actually do inspire, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of letting me know like I didn't do everything wrong. Me speaking my truth is doing just enough to where it's not only helping me, but it's also helping people who watch me. So it's kind of therapy in its own.
And so you say, you know, you want your story to be heard, and that you want, you know, people to be able to see you and be inspired, so on and so forth. If you could verbalize it, what
people could be inspired from?
No, yes, but I know the story, but what's the story? When you say like, I want people to know X, Y, Z. Yes,
and I could answer that very much for you. I want people to know whether you're not only a single mother, because there are some single, y'all don't laugh at me, but there are some single grandparent parents, if that makes sense. So whether you're a single mom, dad, grandparent, auntie, uncle, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, you know, I'm a little overwhelmed. I need help. Damn, I would have to go get my other phone without obviously doxing names and shit. There's a lady in my inbox right now. I just stopped her from killing her baby. Yeah, that part. A lot of people don't understand, and they're like, well, I don't know why she's, you know. And another part of my, you know, me doing my interview, since I've started, everybody who done did some foul, fucked up shit to me, like I said, I don't care if my truth also paints me in a bad light, but it's my truth, you know? They're trying to get me to shut up. Especially, nigga, you raped me from 15 to 18, you will never ever make me shut the fuck up, ever. Not even a cease and desist letter can make me shut the fuck up. Shit, my legal system failed me. Everybody, when I was younger, like, I actually had a letter I wrote to one of the teachers at school telling her what I was going through. I done told so many fucking people, nobody did anything. So it was like, shit, I'm gonna make sure that it's okay for people to know, regardless of how many people come and talk shit about you, if the people who are supposed to protect you, if they don't listen, make somebody else listen. Make the world listen. Don't ever let nobody make you shut up. And it's okay to not be okay. Go seek that fucking help. Because granted, I do look like the devil in everybody else's eyes, but they don't understand. Where my kids are right now, they're thriving as kids. They can afford to just be kids. When I had them, I was always trying to work, trying to figure out what I got to do for the next hustle, for the next little $50. Like, even if it was braiding hair. Because just like I said, I want to be better for me. I want to be a better woman, better in general. So no, I wasn't selling pussy. I was doing anything other than selling pussy. Shit, I'm probably about to go check out a strip club tonight. I don't want to fucking strip. I'm cool with keeping my clothes on. Even if I wear a little skirt or something like that, I'm not taking my shit off, picking up dollars off the ground. I did that shit for 3 years. Not saying it make me better than the girl who stripped, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm actually glad I'm gonna say it on this thing, because everybody be judging strippers. For real, strippers, one of the smartest bitches out there, because y'all judging a stripper for dancing and getting money for it when y'all go to the beach and do that shit for free. What's the difference? So, I don't know, it is just like, no matter what, really just do what the fuck you gotta do, because nobody else is gonna live this life but you. If you wanna speak out against your abuser, speak out against your abuser. If you need help, mental help, it's okay to get help. Everybody has this facade that they want to put on, and nobody's living in real life. I'm living in real life. And that's why I don't care about telling people, no, I don't have a home right now. No, it's not my car, but I'm driving a little car right now, and that bitch don't got tags, so I barely drive it. Shit. I'm not scared to tell people what goes on in real life. I don't care about who talks about me. For what?
Have there been any mothers like that are experiencing the same thing that you're going through that have tried to help out to you or reach out to you or give you any type of advice on what you could do to put you in a better situation?
There are some people who reached out. Some of them said, sorry, excuse me. There are people who reached out, and a lot of them gave me the same resources that I already tried to utilize before I had to give my kids up. Excuse me. Because like before I gave my kids up, goddamn. Before I gave my kids up, I called CPS. I literally called them on myself. I literally tried to get respite care. I called the fucking cops on myself. You know what they told me? They literally told me they was not going to help me. I kid you the fuck not. He literally said, he's not going to help me. They're not going to help me unless I literally look like I'm trying to kill my kids. And I said, okay, wait a second. So you mean to tell me I got to look like I want to harm my kids? Now, even if I'm doing it for fake, just trying to get help, shit, they're kids. Everybody got to look the fucking part, which means I would literally have to terrify my kids for a lifetime to get help. And I'm not comfortable with that. Right now, where my kids are, they're safe. I can still freely see them. I talk to them, everything like that, except for my oldest two. After I went viral and stuff, CPS wasn't involved. But 2 months after, like into my viralness, CPS did get involved because of social media calling in and stuff like that. So what they did do, they took the oldest two and they gave them back. Well, I said gave them back. They gave them to the last person they should have given them to. So now when we go to court August 9th, they give, because I still have legal custody, except for now of the other two because, social media. But anyway, custody gets reverted back to me because the caseworker, for the longest, they were having trouble finding my kids, getting in contact with him. And then when they finally did get in contact with him, mind you, football season's over. He told them that they're on a team and they got an out-of-state game. So it was like, what team could they have gotten on so quick? And what football team were they playing with long enough to have a game out of state? Right. So yeah, it is a lot going on. So for a lot of people who keep saying this and that, I've never not seen any of my kids except for the oldest two for a little second. But now I have heard from them. And I'm about to start seeing them next week because they couldn't do it because, he wasn't being cooperative or whatever. But yes, we did go to court and we go back again August 9th where I get, custody of my oldest two back because technically Children's Services, and I also need, if you guys can help me find a lawyer too, because my case is open illegally. And they did mention that to the judge, like there's no reason for us to have a case. This is not a case for us. So yeah, Children's Services intervened. Like, how can you open a case on somebody who doesn't have kids? And then you take those kids where they were, place them somewhere where you guys can't even fucking find them. And now when you guys finally do, it's all these weird ass scenarios. So yeah, the case wasn't supposed to be open to begin with because when I left, and then I know you guys are probably like scratching your heads because I was in the CPS office and you guys heard her say, yeah, that they're taking custody. They didn't take custody. When you take your kids to CPS or the cops take you and your kids to CPS, they give you what is called law. They don't take custody. So in order for CPS to have taken custody, when I went in there, we would have had to go to court that very day. So when I dropped them off that Friday, that Sunday, I had already placed my kids. So we didn't go to court that Monday. So there is no kids to be taken or anything like that. So if I'm gonna have to probably give you the caseworker number if you want it, so she could explain it to you. But no,
we definitely want to be able to get as more information. Also with legal help, we definitely want to talk further. But I want to ask you real quick. You spoke on Roe v. Wade earlier. Are you pro-life or pro-choice?
So it's weird. So I'm pro-life, but in certain situations where a female has been raped, because I'm sorry, like, I'm not gonna lie. These days, I'm not gonna lie. Do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Your circumstances. Honestly, if I was strong enough to have to abort the kids that I didn't want in the first place, I probably wouldn't be here. But at the same time, I'm also glad that I didn't abort them. I'm glad I didn't have those resources. Yes, it did come from a really fucked up place. But at the same time, I don't know where I would be. Like,
and what do you say to those who question you as a mother, like your mothering, your motherhood, your love for your children? Those who question, like, because you want a better life for them, you're willing to say, I'm going to give them up and come back and get them later. Some people will say, hey, you should be able to stick through the mud with them and go through hell with them, figure it out. And we have Jaguar right in the building.
There is this guy who literally said that he had, because I'm not going to lie, a lot of people don't know, I've already slept in abandoned houses with my kids. I've already been in homeless shelters. The first time my kid ever seen anything drug related was at a homeless shelter when the girl stuck that shit in her arm was passed out. They've seen people, like, they don't need to see none of that shit no more. So before I drag my kids right back through that, you damn right I'm gonna place them where they can be somewhere where they don't have to worry about that. So as far as people who say anything like about my mothering, it takes a true mother to do some shit like that to give her kids a chance that she couldn't give them. It takes a real mother to actually sit there and say, you know what, hey, because that's honestly, and it's what pisses me off the bad part, right, so bad. That's the scenario, and it's been like this for eons, millions of years, generations. The narrative of a Black struggling mother. Why does it always have to be like that? So, okay, cool, yeah, I'm struggling, but I'm not always gonna be struggling for long. Because right now, my kids are where they're thriving. I'm where, I can try to go and get them multiple streams of income. Because where I'm trying to be is not impossible. Whew. It's not impossible, but it's going to be hard. And by the time I'm 35, maybe 40, I'm 27 now, I want to have 6 figures and have residual income. I'm not saying my kids have to be gone the entire time until I get that, but I'm saying as of right now, I don't have a home to go to when I go back home. I'm crashing with other people. I don't have a car. The car I'm driving with, I can get pulled over at any time and go to jail because if the car's not mine, it ain't got tags. Why would I have my kids while I'm trying to figure this shit out?
Do you feel like life has dealt you a bad hand?
It did. Life did. Because, there's a lot of things that I haven't said yet and probably won't say because life definitely did deal me a bad hand but also there's a lot of things that I did to myself, like some of the situations, like the choices in men that I've made. So, but that also just comes from the mindset of me having to teach everything, teach myself everything. So I think, honestly, yeah, I could have made some better choices and stuff, but honestly, shit, I was in 2 colleges, all that other shit. I passed, I did one, I'm still in the other. I could be dead in prison or I could be fucking on, what's that shit, Skid Row or whatever the fuck it's called. I mean, for me to have taught myself everything, I think I didn't do too fucking bad. Because my mom, she's been, she's had her habits and stuff since, when I was born. My stepmom, she's been on crack since before I was born. And then, my dad, drug and gang affiliated, selling it and then being gang affiliated. He was shot 3 times. Altogether, he was shot 5, but he was shot 3 times. I think it was 3 in his head and 2 twice in his chest, or the other way around, 1 of the 2. So he's not always there. My dad wasn't around. So I think it did deal me a bad hand, but I didn't do too fucking bad. And I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm learning from my flaws, taking accountability.
I want to talk about kind of what's going forward. Of course, you went viral. People start reaching out to get you on platforms and kind of get your story. Can you speak on some of the platforms that you've been on? If you remember their names?
So I did Tacos and Shawarma, which was in California. Tasha K, who was in Florida. This one, as
Dallas.
of now. Damn, I know, I did Alchemizing Energy, or I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right.
Alchemist Energy or something like that.
Yes. So definitely big shout out to Monica Lockett, DJ Genesis. I want to take that out and put DJ Genesis and take her name out. So big shout out to DJ Genesis. And then also did Mama Drama. I don't even remember who even owns that one because she was a bitch too.
So Mama Drama.
Yeah, Mama Drama, a group full of petty people. And then Judge Fifi.
Okay, let's stay right there. You did Tasha K.
Yeah.
Tasha K's people reach out to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it was her people, but it was also on her page too. So at first I was confused. I was like, is it her or other people? But yeah, her team.
So real quick, I just have to ask you, because you do Tasha K, and then just recently it shows that again, you call it throwing shade, or she was on the other end of that spectrum when she saw you go on a reality show, and she kind of just now was blasting you on social media. Did you understand what that was for? Did you get why she did that? Like when you saw her blasting you, were you like, what?
Because honestly, I didn't. It was up for hours before I even got wind of it. So like, I don't like that day when I tell you it was kind of funny. So like, I really just was offline, off my phone, just doing school. And then somebody hit me up. They was like, "Hey, you okay, friend?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And I was like, they was like, "Oh, thought you might have been upset about the Tasha K thing." And mind you, I don't go back and watch any of my interviews because I don't want to relive. Like everything I tell in that interview, I don't talk about unless I'm doing an interview. Like I don't want to keep, So I'm like, no, that interview was so long ago. Like I'm not worried about it. It was like, no, the one. I'm like, huh? So I was like, yeah. So when I seen it, I was like, the fuck? Like, okay. I'm still having mixed feelings about it because I'm like, I kind of wanted to reach out like, what the fuck is this? But it was also like, I don't know. This is one of them things where it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me type thing,
Right.
Because I'm like, okay, maybe she really is talking shit and throwing shade. But then again, it's kind of like, maybe she's like, kind of like that auntie thing. Kind of like, this hoe done went and, like, kind of like that. So it's like, but then again, it's like, I don't know if it could be like that because she did say this trifling ass hoe. So it's like, what the fuck have I done to make me a hoe? Okay, cool. I got 5 kids, but it's not like I'm, out there like that. And it's like, what's the beef? What's the problem? Because like, I know she was saying during the interview that she don't think I need to do the reality TV. But me, like I said, I'm taking that risk. I'm betting on myself. I figure it out, do my own thing. So I'm like, I don't know.
Do you feel like it could have been who you did a reality show with?
No. I don't know why it would be an issue.
Yeah, you never know behind the scenes, man. It could always be something. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Like, what you mean?
Like, I don't know. Who'd you do reality show with?
It's the Lituation Network.
Okay. Maybe Tasha K, Unwind with Tasha K, has a problem with the Lituation Network. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
No, it's a new network. I don't.
Okay.
Wait, do you know something I don't know?
I don't know. I don't know. No, I really don't know. But
the Lituation is connected to Tasha.
Yes, the Lituation is. Yeah, the Lituation Network is connected to Tasha K. I don't know whether good or bad or something, but there's some history there. Yeah. So therefore, there could be something that she might have just said, yeah, you went over there. Maybe, again.
Well, that ain't got shit to do with me. I don't know about nothing. The fuck?
So, with that being said, how did you get on a reality show on the Lituation Network, if you don't mind us asking?
I think this was a little minute ago. I don't know. Because I think I knew about it. It was kind of like a short notice kind of thing. It was like, like, hey, heard your story. I think you'll be like really good for the game show. So I was like, tell me more about the game show. And he told me more about it. It was cool when I went there. I mean, everything was nice, production. Like the setup was just amazing. Like he did the motherfucking thing.
Yeah. I will say from what
I don't even know him, and I was proud of him.
You're the most famous person I know on there. And mind you, I'm not saying you're like famous, but as far as in viral moments, and again, that's just maybe my nose isn't into who everybody is, but you're the only person I know that, that's her. So I know you were a good acquisition when it comes to getting you on a reality show. How was shooting the reality show? I know there's a trailer that came out, showed a lot of fighting. Did you have any fights? I mean, can we ask?
So it surprisingly, like, it was really a game show, so it's a lot of challenges. So like, you guys really have to like tune in to like find out. I mean, my link do be on all my platforms, but yes, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily fighting. It's
strenuous competition.
Strenuous competitions. There was this competition. Well, I'll just say I got dragged. That's all you have to know. That's okay. I got dragged bad in this competition.
We'll tune in.
Yeah, but as far as like, so a lot of it's not like we're doing a baddies thing. That's not the narrative where we're trying to do there at all. It's not a fighting show. But you do have people who are from different backgrounds, you know, different personalities. You put them all in one house. Of course, some arguments might happen. So, you know, you guys might definitely see a couple arguments. We do have, you know, some of the challenges which are physical.
What's the name of the show? What's the name of the show?
It's the House of Pain.
House of Pain. Okay. Shout out the House of Pain coming out possibly.
So it's August 9th, the first episode drops, but the trailer is already out.
Okay. All right. Perfect. With that being said, I got to ask, you know, you take your kids, drop them off at CPS. There's a video where you're asking the social worker that, you know, hey, can I still bring them gifts? Can I still see them? So that means you are trying to be making sure you're part of their lives, that it's not a situation where, oh, my mama don't know me, or, you know, they get up 10 years later and don't know who you are. You want to be part of their lives until you get your situation together. Do you have your game plan as far as what you want to do with even possibly this newfound fame?
Yeah, so, I mean, most of all, my goal was never to not get my kids back, and my goal was to never not be involved. But as far as my game plan, so it was like a small shift in my game plan because, like, at first, I don't know if you've heard like the radio interview or just the first couple ones, you know. This is before like things was like really getting kind of thick. You know, my plan was to work a couple jobs because I was kid free. We'll say, you know, I could work first, second, and third type shit, or, you know,
Correct.
Alternate or whatever. But then since I went viral, you know, I had one job I was supposed to start. They said, don't even worry about coming in. So it was kind of like, yeah. So a lot of them are like saying, you know, right now it's not like a good look for the company, or, it, you know, like shit. It has something to do with me, but technically it don't got shit to do with me. I should be able to still work. So it kind of just fucked up me working. So right now, social media is my hustle. So I've been doing, you know, like reality TV shows. I'm, you know, trying to get back into my modeling. That was actually doing very well for me at one point in time. So I want to get back into that because there is some money in that for sure. But multiple streams of income. I have, you know, obviously since day one, I believe, you know, I don't know if you saw the post that went viral and I said I wanted to shake my ass in one club, go to another one, and pretty much always talk about multiple streams of income. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with stripping. Do I want to do it? No. But have I been thinking about it? Yes. But I'm not gonna lie, at first, like I said, like the delivery was a little fucked up, but I do know what she's saying. But she wasn't lying. I don't want to strip. You know, it is a little backwards. I did it before, you know? Right. But
you had mentioned modeling. There was you talked to someone in which they said, like, well, you trying to model? You should model.
So, okay, the girl from Tacos and Shawarma.
Yeah, Tacos and Shawarma.
She tried to say that, well, I'm not even gonna say she tried to say because she did say it, but she tried to pretty much implement like, oh, I look old or I'm too old to model. And that's a lie. Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie. I disagree
with her on that. And
thank you, because I'm very beautiful. But that would be like me saying you're too old for lip fillers. But I'm not saying that.
Right. She asked you what your dream job was, and you answered it, and I was like, "That's my dream job. How can you diss my dream job?" That I didn't feel when she said that. Right. But yeah, I feel like you'd be any age to model. So.
And it's I mean, because what's the one guy who didn't get famous until he was like 58? He was just recently viral for it, and it's like, okay, if that was the case, you know, you're how old? I mean, she told me how old she is, but I mean, it's kind of just a woman's rule. You don't speak on another woman's age.
Right.
But she shouldn't be fucking talking. We'll just say that.
A lot of people don't feel like you should be able to have or excel or do anything because you don't have your kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why you get a lot of the people trying to shit on you because, oh, you want to be a model? You don't have your kids. It's going to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's a little weird because, to be honest, for the most part, I'm not doing anything that I wasn't doing when I still had my kids. Like, you know, I had my kids, I was still doing photos. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't on no red carpet, I wasn't on no TV show and stuff, but, you know, I always used to venture out into different things, you know? A lot of my different journeys are actually on social media. I've never been shy about the life that I've lived or the life that I'm trying to go forward to, you know? I forgot what the hell I was trying to say, but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So let's do it like this, because we want to make sure we push the ball forward and make sure we get your story out there. for people who do see this and they feel compelled to help you, have you started maybe a GoFundMe, Save My Kids?
So there was a GoFundMe, and then like, okay, so she, you know how she was like, oh, your nails, you have a pedicure and stuff like that, which is true. Obviously, I do have, so before, the whole viralness, I could only afford.
I think she was saying, don't even do self-care. Save every dollar. I'm like, damn, every dollar.
Well, here's the thing.
Shit.
I used to do that when I had my kids. I could only literally, it wasn't even just because, I wanted to save every dollar. It was because I was worried, like every dollar I had went to kids' bills and just everything that had nothing to do with, self-care. Like even just getting a bottle of fucking hair lotion, like I literally had to make that bitch stretch for a fucking while. I don't even give a fuck. It is what it is. But anyway, I did, somebody has started a GoFundMe, and with that money, I paid like shit down on my credit. So, a lot of it went towards the stuff that was on my credit. Obviously were the people who have my kids, made sure that they, new bed sets, what to make the kids. I did what I have to do, Granted, I did want to get a car, but okay, cool. I get a car. What job do I have right now to keep it? I can't get a regular fucking job right now. Social media made sure of that. Well, I guess technically I started it, but they kept it going.
Now you're in the world, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Can you do Lyft still, or like Lyft or
not in that car. Because
say if you had say if someone gives you a car now, right? Will you be able to do Lyft or?
I did have a car previously to the one that I'm kind of using right now, and it was a red Dodge Journey. So I actually did try to use Lyft, but I have a something on my record, from pretty much it was reckless driving because the car I had at that time was shitty, so I had to speed to get up a hill. So pretty much, State Patrol was right there. I didn't see him, but I had to get up the hill or else the bitch was gonna go backwards. It was one of the two. So.
Damn. Let me ask you: Do you believe in karma?
Yeah.
Do you believe in luck?
Sometimes.
Would you say? Okay, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. No, I don't think it's luck. I think it's, I don't know.
When something happens like that, where you're trying to just get up a hill and you speed, do you believe karma is coming back on you? Do you feel it's just bad luck? Some people just be like, man, I got a lot of bad luck in my life. What do you feel befalls you to like have these situations where you're like, when do I get my chance to win and shine?
So I would definitely say it's bad luck because technically shit was fucked up when I was born. Shit really hit the paint when I was like 5. Shit. What karma could I have really? Yeah, what karma really could I have done, or what wrong could I have really done to get karma at 5, unless it was some shit from my previous life or something.
Hey, now you saying something real there.
So, it's really just bad luck, but also, it was bad luck until the point where I had control over the decisions, if that makes sense. So then after that, it's not even just karma. That's just the reality or the consequences of bad karma or bad decisions.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Just 2 questions. What do you want?
Like in life?
Yeah.
I just want my kids to get the best education, be able to travel or do anything to, feed and expand their mind. But most of all, I just want us comfortable.
And what do you want for yourself?
Make my kids comfortable.
Yeah. So tell me what does 40 look like for you? Like
40?
When you turn 40, what does your life look like?
I'll be very stable. I'll have, some of them might be grown by then, or a majority of them, but me and my kids are happy. We're thriving.
Stability.
Stable.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about my past because just like Jaguar said, and I really do agree with her 100% because I've said this before in one of my interviews. Although they weren't the best experiences, I needed every experience to be who I am today. if that makes sense. Because although it didn't kill me, I mean, it may have broken just a little bit, but
Right.
it's still, you know.
It's going to mold who you are going forward.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, you know, I know we talked about therapy. We talked about, you know, just, you know, other things of other remedies. I'm glad you're exploring all of that. I'm glad when someone asks, have you had therapy? You tried it. They didn't, you know, hey, have you tried to be by yourself? And you're trying these things. And that's what life is about, to try each avenue until you find one that works.
Yeah.
And never stop the attempt of trying. So we definitely appreciate you for being bold enough to even come on here and tell this story. It's interesting because when you see something that comes up online saying the CPS girl, woman wants to give her kids away for CPS. What's crazy is there's 1 million people in this world that probably thought about the same thing. You just actually acted on it, which is crazy. So we're asking these questions. They probably want to understand, how does that even work? Like, how do you give your kids up for CPS and still be able to see them, still be able to, you know, give them gifts? How does that work? I mean, do you just say, hey, I just want to give up ownership for a little while? Like, how does that work? Like, is that legal?
So, no, it's not legal, but, and it's really hard to explain. And I always tell people, because a lot of people ask me, do I sleep? I mean, sometimes I be looking a little tired, because I do be tired, because I mean, listen, I be up all night just reading things, researching, like, you know, I be researching for fun. So I always say reading is fundamental. Read up on your laws and stuff. Remember, when cops take your kids to CPS, they don't take custody unless they go to court. If you don't go to court, there's no custody to be having. So they have what is called law. If you can make, okay, for one, in order to even have the type of thing that I had, you have to be, I mean, not gonna say it like this because this is gonna come up wrong. You gotta be educated on what the fuck is going on. Like I said, reading is fundamental. But obviously you can't have actual real concerns happening. Like if they actually think something is really fucking happening, this is not about to be a thing. So for those who think like I'll be having mental issues and stuff like that, no, because if I did, you know, I would I wouldn't have legal custody of my kids still, you know? Granted, you know, the whole shit with the dad, but that wasn't at the court date. So, right. But that, like I said, they're giving them back on the 9th. How can I put it? You really just, I don't know. You have to show that you already have stuff going for yourself, that you're already doing something. They're not going to do it for no lazy ass person. And like I said, I was already persistent. Before that Monday came, I already had a case. Like I literally developed my own case plan. I told them what I wanted, what my plan was. I literally made like the whole trajectory type shit.
Wow. Almost like a business plan.
Kind of.
Maybe like a family plan.
Yeah.
What you want for your family.
Yeah. And then granted, you know, some bumps happened, you know, the viral got more viral and it just kept growing and motherfucking job told me not to come in.
Yeah, job told you not to come in. The other family who felt like you murdered one of your kids' father, they want to take you to court? Or they want to sue you?
They can't sue me. Sue me for what? Because your son was a drug addict? Okay, so what? I snorted coke. What, 2017, I snorted coke. You don't see my mom trying to go around suing your son shit, because I'm not going to lie. If she really want to be for real, I mean, she want to sue everybody. I don't know. She might want to be looking for the lawsuit coming for her, because I got 4 years of defamation, slander, and everything else. And I haven't done it because I do understand the power of fucking grief. And I'm not going to lie. Granted, it only happens because she keep popping up doing shit. She just don't go away. But it's not going to help the grief when you got somebody like me who's got to come, you know, clap back at your dumb ass because you can't accept the reality. Fuck what the church thinks. At the end of the day, where my phone? You want to see the toxicology report too?
I mean, if you mind showing it, I mean, I'm not.
I'm
not a toxicologist, but
this is the actual official toxicology report from the coroner's office. Okay, he had all type of shit in his fucking system that I couldn't even fucking pronounce, and I took medical terminology and stuff. Okay, right. Yeah, I can go through my phone.
You know, again, those text messages were pretty harsh, and
they were.
But yes, we'll let that be where it be. Let's do it like this, man. For those that do want to help you, because we want to make sure that the fans that do hear your story, that do want to be part of your journey going forward, can reach out to you. How can they help? Of course, you know, I know the easiest way, Cash Apps all day. But how can they help? Is it like just a donation through Cash App? Will you start another GoFundMe? Do you want to have, you know, communication through DMs for people to reach out to you and speak with you as far as outlets or jobs or anything of that nature?
Yeah, so, and honestly, because it's not just me right now, like if I show you my Indeed, I applied to 67 jobs. It's not just me. It's not just me as a mother who can't find a job right now. Everybody's hiring and nobody's hiring, if that makes sense.
Correct.
So I do want, like, I mean, obviously donations and you know, my GoFundMes and stuff, like that will help. I am going to start a GoFundMe tonight. I'm going to send you the link for that. But I do have a Cash App and a PayPal. You know, all that information is up there. But I would like to hold a seminar where I could meet these mothers, hear their stories, answer their questions, and really do like a one-on-one, because there really are a lot of mothers that I truly did help. And, you know, with their permission, I would love to, you know, show, you know, mind you, I take out the pictures and the names and all that other stuff. So many mothers I've helped from, you know, harming their kids and realizing. So I definitely want to take this as far as I can. So, I mean, and even those who own businesses, or, you know, those who want to put in together to open up a business or whatever shit. I mean, I can make money with anybody. If you want to make money, if you own a business and you can put me in a manager's position, I'm not working for minimum wage. Not only am I a 27-year-old woman, I'm a 27-year-old woman with 5 kids and a fucking mission. So if you're going to come correct. Respectfully, if might I add. But yeah, I mean, I obviously want a career. I want multiple streams of income.
Definitely. Now we're going to put all that in the descriptions for those who want to help. You're going to see it. It's not going to be hard to find. And again, I believe you will be in communication with those who are trying to reach out. Amora, can you, for those at this moment in the show, we normally give your Instagram out. We normally give your just, you know, your social media contacts. Are you on social media heavy or?
Yeah. So I am, I'm actually working on cleaning up my Facebook, so I might have a social media manager, because I do know, I can say that sometimes it might be hard for people to want to help me because the way I talk or when I'm getting mad or things like that.
You come off kind of sometimes like, man, it's ooh.
I say some real fucked up shit, and I'm learning to work on that, but it's from my perspective. You know, granted, I didn't expect to go viral, but I did go viral. But it's a lot of people who don't know me or say some of the most craziest shit. And then the people who know I ain't killed, you know, so I can only, you know, defend myself the best way I can when it's like half of a fucking America coming out my neck, if that makes sense. So it's like a lot of pressure, you know? Granted, I try not to pay too much attention to it. But yeah, as far as my social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I'm on YouTube. I'm actually getting ready to start that. And I'm working on getting my podcast starting, and I'm working on trying to, you know, just different ventures.
What's the name of your social media as far as if they were to find you?
Yeah, so my Instagram is Lamborghini_Lexx. My Facebook is Amora Lexx. TikTok is Lamborghini Lexx as well, and YouTube is Lamborghini Lexx.
Any underscores or double X's or, you know?
I believe TikTok might have 2 X's, but all my things are also in my Instagram bio, as well as the you know, the link to subscribe to the Lituation Network to see the episode, you know.
And just curious, what's the podcast going to be about?
So, okay, I'm not gonna say the name yet, but so the podcast is honestly where I'm gonna go through everything raw and uncut. There's like no subject that's left unturned, because it's a lot of things that really aren't talked about in society that a lot of people do turn their eyes to. And honestly, I want to find some way to make a movement to where honestly these dads, you know, do take accountability. And it's okay if you weren't there before or whatever, but it's what about now? You know, you could always worry about the now. And then also, because like I said, my baby dad, if he decide he want to man up one day and, you know, then by all means do that. But I don't know. It's just, I'm still trying to find the actual audience, but it's just my story connects to so many people that I don't have just one audience anymore. So I'm sorry if I didn't answer that, but answer that.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Well, Amora, is there any shout outs you'd like to give?
I want to give a shout out to obviously the Lituation Network, because, you know, they did put me on. I want to give a shout out to my family who has, you know, just holding my hand, you know, and letting me know that no matter what, they're proud of me. I'm standing on business. Shout out to my kids, obviously. And we'll be together again one day, and I promise that. And I don't break my promises. Monica, DJ Genesis, X that out. I want to give a shout out to DJ Genesis, my mom, my stepmom, who stepped in as my father figure at times, and at one point she was my only comfort, somebody I can confide into. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Again, we appreciate your bravery for being able to come out here and speak on this and just tell your story. Hopefully, this is the beginning of the blessings that's about to come to your life. So, with that being said, you are on the blue couch, man. You're in front of these lights, and we got to say it, Amora, Lexx, you are a real life freestyle. Appreciate it.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Mola. Hey.